Test the audio. This is a test to make sure the audio for the stream is sounding all good. Zach, go ahead.
This is a test. I believe this sounds quite good. You sound quite good, Smith.
Oh, thank you, Zach. You too as well.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of good vibes up here in the broadcast booth. I'm Smith Sly, Zach McFarlane. I will not be on the call. It will actually be Kate Cherney and Zach McFarlane on the call tonight for the Washington State Cougars taking on the Eastern Washington Eagles in the Eastern Washington Recreation Ice Rink. Game time is at about 7 p.m., so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Airstrip, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He stops at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, back to the game.
You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
They say Christmas is in 20 days, but if you love hockey, bitter rivalry, tenacity, and grit, you will love tonight's contest. We are here at the URC in Cheney, Washington State, going to take on the Eastern Eagles. They are a very, very tough rivalry. Washington State, though, hasn't actually beaten Eastern since under head coach Johnny Lupinacci, and that's, I think, the biggest storyline here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and this is our first time playing Eastern at all this season, so this is going to be an interesting game to see how the Cougs play against Eastern Washington for the very first time, especially since they have that record of not winning in the past.
Absolutely, and when you look at the standings of the Pac-8, of course the playoffs are about a full month away season-wise. You have January, but the Pac-8 playoffs right at the start of February. So you have this series in January left. You look at the standings, Washington State 4, and you have Eastern at 5. And they're 2 games out from Washington State, so 2 regulations wins in this series puts them above Washington State, that 4th spot. These 2 teams battling for that 4th spot, which could be a very important thing to get when you look at the top teams in the league, like the top 3, UW, Western, Cal. That could avoid a little bit more on that tough side if you get the 4th spot instead of the 5.
Yeah, and especially if Eastern is as good of a team as we've seen on some stats so far. You know, the Cougs have a tendency, at least in the first game, to play up to the skill level that they're playing. If they believe that this is a higher team, hopefully that means they will come out harder, come out faster, and play a better game than they did against that last Idaho game, where we saw them lose 5-2, I believe, where they had won 9-0 the previous night before. So again, with that Friday-Saturday game, they do better on the Fridays, not so great on the Saturdays. We got to break that streak. You know, hopefully this weekend is what changes that.
They do better on Fridays. A little bit of a rarity. The outdoor game, the 2nd annual Collegiate Classic, they did fall to the Western Vikings. But, of course, they sit 2nd in the Pac-8 right now, 2 points above the University of Washington. And really no one has taken that 2nd spot away from Washington in quite a number of years. So Western to kind of come out of the woodworks like they have. They've recruited well. They've done well. And they've presented themselves as one of the best teams in this conference. But nonetheless, Eastern, one of their top scorers, and Robert Harver, is actually, as we found out just before this broadcast, suspended 6 games and will not be in the contest tonight. That could play a huge part. He actually leads the division in penalty minutes, 69 penalty minutes. Truly incredible, but again, nonetheless, he is a point grabber for them, 8 goals and 12 assists for 20 points. But we want to look out for a guy like Joe Lusk, 42 points in 20 games, averaging 2.1 points per game. I mean, more than Gretzky ever did.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. You know, we talked about Cole Carlson. He hit his 100th career point this season. And the fact that he's almost got half of that in 20 games is absolutely crazy. And the Cougs just really need to notice that and shut them down if they want to even have a chance at winning this game.
So look out for number 19 in white and red. That will be Joe Lusk. And, of course, he is 2nd in the Pac-8, sitting right behind former WHL player Andrew Fan, who has 51 points in 17 games. Now that's just incredible. That is truly incredible, averaging 3 points per game. We've seen his talent this season. We're all too familiar with that. But we will get underway here. Eastern making their entrance. Johnny Lupinacci looking for that first one in the W column over EWU. And it's Washington State. I'm Zach McFarlane alongside Kate Cherney. You're watching on KOGR. Puck drop and the national anthem next. National anthem's done. All but the puck drop here at the URC. And again, these two teams very similar. They know each other well. The top lines go out. Kendall against Sahovanen for the draw, and the puck is on the ice, and we are underway. Sit back and enjoy this one. Keegan Lucas to fire it in. This one goes off the corner to the opposite way. There's Carlson battling for it there along the board. Sahovanen trying to take it away there from Kendall, could not. And it's over to Lusk. The big point grabber for Eastern tried to find Jelinek through the neutral zone, and that's off the stick. And poked further now, Jelinek fired it around. Over to grab it off the opposite circle. Lucas gave it up there. Lusk just kind of sweeps one toward the net, intercepted by Sam Hembry. The angle one way ahead was looking for Carlson, couldn't find him, and Tierney will look at his options through center ice and turns it over, and so far, not too much possession from either side. Eastern in their own zone. Lusk gave it away off a turnover, and Lazaro just couldn't quite settle it down. Might have been a grade A chance in the top of the slot as Nickish will send it back in. Further into the corner, banking it now is Maurer. Umale handles this one through the top of the zone and out of the blue line. Maurer carrying it ahead. He's defenseman, but playing forward here, and a giveaway, and now opportunity for Eastern. 2-on-1 bunch with Nickish. Nickish's shot towards that frame. Rebound. It's in behind Cool, and the whistle is gone, I think. That puck went through the 5-hole, but Robert Robinson, I beg your pardon, was there to keep it off the goal line.
So far already in this game, we've seen that the Cougars have not quite been connecting on the passes that they need to. This has been a focal point for them for a while, and against a good team, you really need to be making these passes to have anything and not have turnovers like that center ice where they have a lot of those scoring opportunities.
We'll get Elijah Nickish in the face-off circle. He is one of 2 Nickishes on the team. So we'll have to kind of differentiate those two. We'll try our best as here's an opportunity. David Bushkin getting around, moving on in and a shot. He scores! David Bushkin opens up the scoring at the URC at 1.5 minutes. It's 1-0 Washington State.
Great shot there by David Bushkin, right under the glove, kind of middle of the net, but amazing breakaway right there. But that defense just couldn't stop him right there.
Huge defensive breakdown. I believe it was Jordan Russell with poor footwork there, just skated right by him. Unfortunate for the Eastern Eagles. Not a good start here on your own home turf. But nonetheless, a 1-0 start, and you couldn't have a better beginning than you do for the Gray and Crimson. That goal coming at 1:31 of the first period, and this should be full of physicality, I would imagine. Never a dull moment between these two teams. Here is Nickish walking into the zone. That is Jacob Nickish. He'll get it right back. Settles it down off the shelf. Carlson took that one right away, picked his pocket there, tried to put one through center, but Smith will fire one in off the backboard.
Had to be super careful about those passes center ice there, especially when it's kind of a toss-up about who's going to get it.
Eastern has seemed to have more of a neutral zone presence. This one will come all the way down and will be in icing with 2:18 gone by here in the first. Of course, starting us off, David Bushkin. He has been the top scoring rookie on this Wazoo team and his 10th goal of the year. Now putting himself at 15 points, tied with Max Lazaro for the 3rd spot of points on the team. He has been truly incredible for a young freshman. You got 2 defensemen in Lex Bowd and Keegan Lucas as well. They've done that on the defensive back end. But Bushkin, the only goal in that UW series back in October. He scored Friday night to make it 2-1 very late in the game. As here's Carlson settling it down. Sent one to the back. Hembry walks in and fires one just wide of the right post. Looked like he had it set up. He had no traffic really in front of him. Carlson doesn't know what to do with this, so he fires it down the corner and goes off for a change. Didn't like anything he saw there. Rayner kind of trying to forecheck here. Hembry keeping it right at the blue line. Stetcher pushed off by Umale, and this one fired back in. Leonov turned it over. Umale got it. Tried to just sauce one toward the net. And I beg your pardon, that was Umale. Lazaro Hembry fans on that one. And the Eagles will break it out. Ahead with it is Kendall. Oh, and he was hit off the puck there by Lazaro. Not too hard of a hit, but it was enough. Nice play by Lucas. Banked it off the glass to himself, and a shot. I believe that hit the iron. Hembry throwing back toward the goal, and that one sticks away by the Eastern defense. And back comes Jelinek. 2-on-2 developing through the legs and then bumped off by Lucas, who had the size advantage there. Loose puck comes out to the back. We'll go down below the cage, and there's Lusk. Looks at his options and banks it down low for Jelinek and below the goal line at the corner. Backhanded back up to Lusk. Trying to stick handle on by, and the long reach there of Rayner, giving him trouble. Turned over to Hembry. Floats it across the ice. There's Umale. He'll try to stride his way in, loses the puck. And now we have a little bit of a shoving match here, and we're going to get a penalty. And I would imagine this is an interference against the Eastern defenseman as Umale lost the puck. But it seemingly looked like Nikolaev just never really saw that and just kept playing the body the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. And already we've seen, I think this game has highlighted how important it is to get the first goal in a game. The Cougs are already setting the tone. They're coming out harder, they're coming out fast, and they're already shutting down Eastern and making good plays, having good awareness of where each other are.
They just have to play 3 consistent periods. As Ballard trying to stick handle this one. He does below the goal line. Try to send it back to Robinson. Didn't get it back cleanly, but Robinson now fields it back down low for Ballard. Sahovinen in the far corner. Nice sauce pass back to Carlson, opposite point. Over to Robinson, one touch down low. Ballard sent it to the slot, looking off the stick of Rayner. He was wide open there in that mid slot. And went right off his blade and away. So 30 seconds gone by on the man advantage. Robinson drops it off for Van Rayner. Robinson in the corner, floats one out front. There's Rayner, and it was swiped off his stick, and a short-handed opportunity, an odd man rush 2-on-1. There's Bunch, he's got Nickish, and an offside is called by the linesman, Elijah Nickish. A little bit too excited, and it will come outside the zone.
You know, that was a pretty late offsides call. I would be pissed if I got that close to the net and then the ref called offsides. They got to be a little quicker on those. But, you know, refs in ACHA, they're not quite the quickest. They haven't seen the best things. But hopefully this game, they're a little better and can be good for both teams.
There are usually 3 teams out there in the ACHA games. The referees do play quite a big part oftentimes in these games, as this one is turned over by Lazaro. And Eastern will just dump this back in. Elijah Nickish in after it. Sam Hembry gets to get there first and leaves it off for Carlson in the corner. Carlson tried to dangle by Bunch, couldn't do it. And now a turnover here, Lazaro. Bunch, what a play, what a forecheck, and then a great poke check play. Reaching around the body there of Bunch was Lazaro, recovering for his own mistake with just 42 seconds to go on the power play. The Cougars not really productive thus far. Jurgensen kicked it in off his skate. Below the goal line, goes to Sahovinen. Keeps it alive with his blade, looks at options out front. Sahovinen comes out front in a backhander, and getting a piece of that was goaltender Brash. Now vying for it at the half wall. Hembry comes out with it. Bouncing puck comes on the stick of him. Over to Carlson and just too far of reach. And it goes to the opposite half wall. Carlson spamming the L2 button here a little bit like he's playing shell. Shielding the puck around Elijah Nickish. Coming right out front with it. And he tumbles down to the ice and the puck goes wide. This one slapped back up to the point, kept alive by the skates of Hembry. Turning with it. Power play time coming to an end. Lazaro open in the hot slot. And a shot turned out by Brash. Jurgensen falls down to the ice, but keeps possession of the puck, sweeps it back to Lazaro. Down low there, looking for a pass to Carlson. Couldn't quite get a shot off, and this one from the point wide. Taylor now. Good forecheck here, trying to vie that puck out of the zone. It does come back to Cougar possession. Lazaro was looking for a one-timer there in the high slot. He was stick lifted, and Bunch gonna send this one, looking for Smith. Sean Smith had a chance there, and just went right under his twig, and this will be dumped back in, and we finally have a little bit of calmness to the play. I beg your pardon, turned back over, and Cool, with a great glove save, he stops Sterling Myers.
You know, shot after shot on this Eastern goalie, but none of them are quite good. They're not quite hitting the net, sending it right into the goalie, making it very easy to stop. And they need to start making these better plays. You know, they want to pick up that trash in front of the net, but in the end, if you're just shoving it into goalie, it's not going to do very much.
There's a huge difference between SOGs and scoring chances, and realistically, only one scoring chance. They have cashed in on it, but you're going to want more grade A stuff. Here's a shot on Cool upon entry of the zone, and that one easily grabbed off. And just kind of a 2-on-2 rush there with 12:56 to go in the first. A goal early on coming from Washington State. Their goal differential this season now, if we're going live, at 0, exactly even. Of course, before this game, -1. Eastern, again, if we're going live, based off this game score, -34. These two teams are very similar in the idea they've both been swept by UW. They've both been swept by Cal. They've both been swept by Western. And they sit at that 4 and 5 spot. Very, very similar identities. Lots of physicality. There's Taylor, sent one out front looking for Bushkin, and he just pushed it back to him instead. Couldn't quite get it on net. And it will be cleared out here by Waite. Waite looking, tried to go Patrick on the backhand there, and it's turned out by Maurer. We haven't seen him too much this season. We saw him in the Idaho Vandals series, and he will be in the lineup tonight against this very tough Eastern team that, again, always has the number of the Cougs. A little bit of a turnover battle here in the neutral zone. Coming out with it for Eastern is Leonov. Send it back up through center, and we're going to get a whistle. The linesman pointing to the official, and do you know what that whistle was for?
No idea.
Well, it's like we talked about. We never really know what's going on down there with the stripes.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we'll have a face-off to the left of Sam Brash. Again, not sure what the whistle had gone there for. Puck seemed to still be in play and everything still going as it should. And Jurgensen races after Nikolov here. Backhanding one to the corner. To his counterpart in the defenseman, Jelinek off the stick of him. And young defenseman Lex Ballard will shovel one out to center. One-touch pass to Carlson. Breaking it out like they love to do in practice. Sahoven in a shot, and that one turned aside, never left the ice, and patted away by Brash. Sahoven into the back. Ballard hurries one toward the net and paddled again to the same corner. Cycling it back once more. Ballard again. Oh, and he was looking for Carlson on the back door, and it hit the stick that was lying there on the ice. Carlson now toe drags. Oh, and he was crunched. He was stood up there by Kendall. He was also tied with Robert Arver with the most penalty minutes in the Pac-8 with 69. Eastern has 3 players in that top 5. 69, 69, and 68 with Dezerkis.
You know, and we always thought, we talked about in other games how we thought the Cougs had a lot of penalties. We thought they were giving up a lot on the penalty kill, but it seems like, you know, Eastern has even more penalties and even more given up goals.
That they have. They have the most penalty minutes, in fact, in the entire Pac-8 division. Here's one thrown toward the net, blocked down in front. Not a lot of shots have gotten too cool so far, just 2. According to the official scoreboard, that one bouncing out front. Delayed offside here, so Eastern has to tag up. Wazoo a little bit of time to break the puck out. Umale across the red line, soccers it to his stick and throws one on goal from the blue line. And Lucas will come in after it. Trying for a harsh forecheck. Slapped on net by Lazaro and turned out on the loose puck. And Eastern will try and break it out, but Bunch gives it back up to Rayner in the neutral zone. The Cougars holding possession. You talked about that first part of the period where the Cougars looked a little bit slow. Oh, and Nico Umale shoved right into the boards. And that's going to be a penalty coming up. It is a roughing. And that will be against Dezerkis, who just jumped into first place for penalty minutes with that at 70 for the year. And I'll be honest, I didn't see a penalty there, and to be totally honest.
I think it might have been a cross-check, and that's what they might have called. But, yeah, again, looked like an okay hit. Again, like we've said, these ACHA refs, there's something else. But so far, Wazoo's defense has looked really good, and Eastern has noticed that, and they've started to kind of pressure them a little more than we've seen in previous games. So I think they're panicking a little on that blue line, and it's given Eastern a few opportunities to kind of skate it in. Not quite getting goals on Alexi Cool, though.
Not quite, only again 2 shots and not any scoring chance opportunities. Robinson threw one toward the net. That one bounced around and pinballed and played by the stick mid-air by Sahovanen, and they will call a high stick. And Sahovanen couldn't disagree more. He said that was chest height, but the linesman saw it different, and so we will have a face-off actually all the way down right next to Alexi Cool, who has been a huge difference maker for this Cougs team this season. Has 5 of their wins. And a face-off with Rayner for the Cougs. And we'll take on Kendall. Face-off one out by Rayner. Calmly here is Lazaro. Sends it for Jurgensen. 1:40 to go here on the power play. Luke Jurgensen. Physical presence he brings. Got it back, Rayner. Looking for a shot toward the net. That one blocked and kept alive by the stick of Jurgensen. Now the help of Rayner. Sends it back down low the goal line. Sahovanen shielding the puck and quickly sweeping it ahead for Lazaro. And they kind of trade spots here, Lazaro. Surveying the ice. Back to Robinson. Top of the slot. Doesn't let it go. Now sends it for Rayner. Feeds it back. Robinson looks, fires. Save made there by Brash. And it comes back out to the other point. Lazaro quickly hurries one toward the net, trying to catch him off guard. But again, patted away by the blocker. And the rolling puck will go all the way around the net. Sahovanen skips it back for Lazaro. Cross ice there is Robinson. Look to go Lazaro, turn back over, a breakaway opportunity. Moving on in, Jelinek lifted it too high above the crossbar. Still not going to get a shot on goal for that grade A chance. And then he puts a big hit there on Lex Ballard. And the Cougars power play, which looked like it would be pretty productive. They got a couple shots, they got decent looks, and then they turn it over there. Ballard, nice blade work, moving through the blue line and the neutral zone. Spins in the corner, 15 to go. Sent one for Carlson. He'll shield it around the cage through his forehand. Nice footwork from him. Back Hembry walks in, sends one on net, deflected, popped up, and Brash again holding that puck out of the cage. He's been stellar so far. The 11th shot for the Cougs. Here's one slapped toward the net, save, and the rebound again, cleared out by Nickish. Wow. Here's Didzerkis, fresh out of the box. He's around Ballard, sends it back in, and he scores! Out of the box and on the board. This game is tied.
Great goal, kind of just sneaking in there, getting that backhander on Alexi Kuhl, just right on the ground, nothing too crazy. But going back to that Cougars power play, they don't have much urgency right now. You know, they're playing controlled, which is great because they don't play as well when they're chaotic, but there's just not a hustle for them. They're just kind of acting like this is a Sunday morning skate, and they really need to kick it into gear after that goal.
You're right, and there's a fine line that you kind of have to balance with here between a sense of urgency and control, and it seems the Cougars always have one or the other, but never both. And the 4th shot of the period goes in for Didzerkis, and he will pick up a huge 31st point of the season and the 18th goal for him, and he ties this game at 1, where it looked like the Cougars predominantly have been dominating this game. Of course, shots are 12-4. And not much Kuhl can do on that one. Kind of almost a semi-breakaway. Here's an opportunity. Bushkin again walks in and fired one. That one off the stick. And a good defensive block there by Clark. Eastern looking to break it out. Instead, they gave it up. That one caught in the glove. Almost a goaltending style play there in basketball, but now no urgency to get off the bench. Here's a shot, save, and the rebound kick loose off the back of Brash. Floated one toward the paint, and it is covered. Looked like a little bit of lack of urgency from that line change for Eastern, and it caused a 2-on-1.
Definitely. It's, you know, in the end, hockey is a game of who wants it more. You know, whoever wants to win the game is likely going to win it because that's the team that's trying hard. That's the team that's going after pucks, connecting these passes and making these good plays. And again, these teams are so close to each other, 4 and 5. It's who wants it more, who wants that 4th position the most, and this game is going to decide that.
That it is, and you know these guys want to win this one. For head coach John Lupinacci, this is definitely a game that's been circled on the calendar since it came out in August. This one floating toward the side of the net, off of it. Nickish threw one back toward the front, looking maybe for the stick of Smith, couldn't find him. Umale stick handling, tried to bank it further, and didn't. Loose puck comes to the slot, stick lifted. Here's a chance, Smith a shot, and right into the chest, and swallowed up by Kuhl. And if that shot was a little more to the left, could have been in the back of the net, and this could be a different hockey game. With 6:37 to go in period 1, and these two teams, no love lost. We've seen some hits, but both penalties we have seen thus far, of course, it's on brand for the statistics and what they say. And the Eagles have taken 2 of 2 penalties here thus far. This one off the high glass and rides the shelf there. That's red on the whiteboard as Sam Hembry pokes it further. 4-man scrum at the half wall. Sahovinen soccers that one to his blade, shielding the puck. One hands one up the glass, and there's Carlson in a 2-on-2 rush. He'll go cross ice to Jurgensen. Jurgensen drops it back off Carlson. He was forechecked there by about 3 different Eastern Eagles. Putting him down, and this one tipped toward the corner by Jurgensen. Didn't quite get on net. Carlson sweeping that one back down low. Jurgensen trying to win the battle. Left it off for Sahovinen. Sahovinen pressured here. He's taken down. They're not going to draw a penalty there. They will let it play out. It looked like he had his stick in his legs for a trip. They don't call it. Rolling puck on edge. We'll go to Carlson. Eastern wanted offside. They don't get one. Lucas leaves it off. Hembry a wrister, and that one is stopped. But it looked like Brash wasn't confident he had it looking back, but a whistle with 5:35 left in period one.
Something about the Cougs so far and how they've been playing, their zone entry I think is a little different than what is normally played. You know, normally you have player 1 has the puck, player 2 crashes the net, and number 3 is the one who hangs back, you know, trying to wait for that drop pass or if they're in a panic. But they have not been doing that. They kind of just go with the flow, you know, whoever picks up the puck, picks up the puck, and I think that might be hurting them a little with their zone entry.
And it seems like they all ride high, they sit all high in the top of the zone once they get in. Good move by Kendall, poked away. And Jelinek trying to just get this by Bushkin. He does enough. Kendall from the top of the slot fired one well wide. Right into the stick of Joe Lust. Down in front, and what a pass. They score! Jared Jelinek got a tip in front, and Eastern is out front, 2-1.
What a tip right there in front of the net. That is perfect timing. That is teammates connecting perfectly. I'm sure they worked on that in practice. Tipping is a huge part of hockey, and he just connected that absolutely perfectly to score on Alexi Cool.
And that was, must I say, a beautiful pass from Joe Lusk to get his 43rd point and his 31st assist of the year. He has truly been incredible for this Eagles team. Again, all those in 20, this is game 21. Averaging over 2 points a game, and that was, again, just a beautiful pass. And Kendall trying to throw one toward the net, and the bouncing puck hit off something in front. And the Cougars will now try and escape with it. The thing about the Cougars is oftentimes when they've gotten down historically, that marks the end. They have to be able to come back from this. They have dominated the first period, and no, they haven't gotten rewarded for it, but they have to keep chugging along. Here's Robinson entering the zone. Threw one toward the goal, and that one just kind of goes through the paint and back the other way. A 2-on-1. Bunch has a man. It's Lusk. Blocked away. Rebound. Oh, my goodness. What a stop. Alexi Cool said no to one of the top scorers in the conference. Lusk was denied on the second effort try. My goodness. Out in front. Another try. And he stopped Nickish as well. Elijah Nickish trying to get the bouncing puck in the slot, and he can't. Lusk tried to poke it further at the point. Taken away by Umale. A stick lift battle. Lusk will win it. The man who wears the C for the white and red. Wow. What a sequence. And Alexi Cool keeping the puck out nonetheless. Bouncing puck comes to the point. Kept alive here by Russell. Russell pushed down by Lazaro. And now a little bit of a scrum here in the corner. Lucas trying to win it out. Rayner does. He'll go to Hembry. Relays it on looking for Umale, but it's right to Dzerkis. Umale will grab it. Backhand there and trying to get it out. And it looks like the Cougars just slowly passing, kind of nonchalant play here in the defensive zone. And it's not what you want when you're down 2-1. Here comes Bunch. Grabs that one off on a shot right into Cool. Thought he had swallowed it up there for a moment, but it comes out. And Hembry will absolutely lift this one right into the Eastern bench with 3:05 to go in period one. And now it was 14-5 in shots. Now it's 14-9, and it looks like the tides are shifting here.
Back to kind of this play. Eastern has done a great job of just kind of getting sticks in lanes. You know, they are taking the puck away from the Cougs right now. But the Cougs, back to that urgency, they need to back check. They are leaving their defenseman and Alexi Cool high and dry. And creating these, you know, one-on-one, two-on-one opportunities that are really big scoring opportunities for Eastern.
And a bouncing puck here in the arm raised the official, and the Cougars going to the box for the first time tonight. And let's see who's guilty. It looks like they're motioning Sahovanen. And 58 in gray is going to go. And it's 2 minutes for a hook there in the slot. 2:58 left here in the first, and Eastern will get their first look at the power play. And Eastern now setting up, presumably, power play line one for them. And look out for Dominic Dzerkis. He has 6 power play goals on the year. Second most in the league. Here's a high shot by Jelinek. That one rises high, and now maybe an opportunity if Bushkin can beat a man there. He gets it through from Dzerkis. Tried to send one out front for Taylor and could not. Good play by Lusk on the back check. Bushkin sends that one, popped up into the air off a couple of gloves and batting it down. And eventually, and now we get a hand pass or maybe a high stick. It looked more like a hand pass, but they will call a high stick. And with 2:34 to go, a face-off in the defensive zone, and a decent start on the penalty kill for the Cougars. Keegan Lucas out there on the penalty kill on the back end with Robinson. And tonight, they are not paired together. And of course, when you get to special teams, a lot of things switch and shift. Face-off is won by Eastern, given away. Jurgensen tried to backhand one for Lazaro, who got the initial forecheck to work. But nonetheless, here come the Eagles. Jelinek gliding this one, had it knifed off his stick. Lucas fires one around the end board. That's stopped off by Lusk. Lusk pressured off there by Jurgensen. Bouncing puck comes out off the linesman and back in and touched up there. And I believe that's an intentional offside against Joe Lusk. I would imagine they bring, I guess not. He definitely saw the official with the arm up, but all smiles with John Lupinacci, so no bitterness on where the puck will be dropped. It'll be right outside the Cougar territory here. Still top line out there for the Eagles. This one poked off the stick. Good from Jurgensen. He has been an unsung hero so far. He's shown physicality, and he has been good defensively, and here he is again. Holding patiently, and he will clear. A sixth-year man from Montana State has proven to be a very good new asset to this Cougar team. 6 points on the year, all assists. Here's Bunch. Works it through center, got by Carlson. Oh my goodness, he was crushed. Max Lazaro gets up limping. On his right leg, he's gonna get one. I don't know, this could be a 5 very easily. But Lazaro, of course, we hope he is okay. He is not putting much weight on that skate at all.
Seems like he came off more injured than the player that he hit.
Absolutely, and there looks like there's going to be discussion here of maybe how many minutes this one's going to be. That was definitely textbook boarding if I've ever seen it. Max Lazaro, who is top 3 in points for the team, but he's also number 1 by a long shot in penalty minutes. 37 entering this game, but this could very well go up to 42, and we might not see Lazaro for the rest of the game.
They are having the medic, looks like, check him out right now and see if anything's kind of wrong with that leg. I don't know if we'll be hearing anything, but we'll definitely see if he comes back out on the ice again.
Of course, we hope he is okay. They are, again, as Kate said, they are checking him out, but this, as it stands, is a 2. But now discussing with Cole Carlson, the captain of the Cougars, and an alternate captain of the Eagles, and Did Zerkis, on maybe what this looks like. Definitely a board, to say the least. It just now depends the severity, and that all is up to the opinion of the officials, and it looks like they're holding up 5. But it looks like the board will stay at 2 minutes. And it looks like we will just get the face-off to the left of Cool, but again, there's still some discussion. And now they're pointing at the clock. I'm not really sure what this is all about. And they are checking on Lazaro as well, so it seems. The medic, again, of course, evaluating him. It looked like a right leg injury. He was not putting any weight on that right leg. Of course, don't want to speculate on what that could be. Nonetheless, a lower body deal, and we hope he is okay. This puck is won by Eastern, and now a 2-man disadvantage for the Cougars. Didzerkis, top of the slot, and a shot off a body in front and goes wide. Luckily, that tipped off somebody, as that was right dead in the slot. An easy shot there, Didzerkis. Over to Lusk. Waits at his options, tried to go across ice with it, and can't. And Hembry sweeps one all the way down. 15 seconds to go on the Sehovenin initial minor penalty. Only 2 minutes for Lazaro, but again, we'll have to wait and see what his return looks like. Joel Lusk sweeping around the net. Here's Jelinek across ice, and a shot short side turned out. Initial penalty time is up, a 5-on-4 now for the next minute 16, unless Eastern can cash in here. Didzerkis, toe drag shot off a body into the corner. Lucas fires it off the glass. Can Carlson get there? He can't. Almost a good opportunity for the Cougar captain. 40 seconds to go here in period 1. Through center, right to Sean Smith. Carries it through the circle and fires one wide of the short side. Lots of bodies in front of Cool. Sent one down low and a backhander. Relay play. Smith can't get it. It bounces out. Officials let it play on. They keep side of the puck. This one thrown from the side of the net. Still a bouncing puck. It's still loose. Battling around for it there near the paint. 15 seconds to go. Thrown back toward the net and shrugged off by Cool. To the last 10 seconds to go. Bodies going down. Cool shoving men in front of the cage. 5 seconds to go. Carlson trying to beat out Tierney and can't. And that will do it for one.
Absolute chaos in front of the net on that last play. You know, I just think Cougars are trying to keep their own. They do not want to make this goal differential any bigger than it has to be. You know, 2-1, game's still close. Coach Lupinacci, you know, we say it on the broadcast so much. You need 5 goals to win a game. So that's what the Cougars' mindset is right now, and Eastern is trying to come out hard, just dumping pucks on net, trying to get them in there.
And again, we saw the shots earlier on in the period. It was 14-4. And now we have 14 all. So when you look at that, it's really a big drop-off of the Cougars' progress on offense and their production. And Eastern, even without this 5-on-3, already momentum going their way. They scored 2 against Cool, 1 on the break, and then, of course, a beautiful pass from Lusk right to Jelinek. They get the lead from 1 down to 1 ahead, and now the Cougars again. Now they're behind, and you're getting a look at Max Lazaro, who is now still being checked out by the medical team. Again, not sure if we're going to get any word on what might be up there. Nonetheless, we hope he is okay. And the Cougars down 2-1. They find themselves down after dominating the first half of that period. What can they do going into period 2 to get themselves out of this minor hole?
You know, I said it in the beginning of the period, they really just need to connect on these passes. They need to make these good plays, not allow Eastern to just take the puck from them. Back check. Back check is going to be everything. You know, Eastern keeps getting these 2-on-1s, these 1-on-1s, these even 3-on-1s, where the other defenseman is almost nowhere to be found, and the wingers are still, you know, at the red line. So that's going to be so important, and just hustle. They have to hustle. They have to hustle to pucks. They have to hustle to make passes and get it on net while still keeping control.
As we will get a little intermission game here, and our great cameraman Connor Simmons is going to be on it seems, and we will let you watch this entertaining segment of Tricycles on Ice as we will head to intermission. 16:58 until the puck drop of period 2. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Kate Cherney. You are watching KUGR 2-1 at the URC, and the Eagles lead the Cougars. We'll be back. Don't go away.
It is a 2-1 game here. Eastern Washington take the lead at their home rink. WSU needs to pick up some momentum in this next period if they're going to want to have a chance to win. Smith Sly caught up with Coach Lupinacci right after the period. Unfortunately, we are having some technical issues and cannot play it at the moment. But what are we thinking going into this period? How do you think WSU is going to respond to this goal lead for Eastern?
Well, you have that end of that period where you kill the 5-on-3. Of course, there's still 22 ticks left on the Max Lazaro boarding. But now looks like seemingly without Max Lazaro. He went off. It looked like, that his skate was off when he did get off the ice. Lower body injury, looks like something with his right leg. But again, just not a smart hit to take there at all. And again, he leads the team by quite a bit in penalty minutes. But what's surprising is, despite how much we talk about disciplinary issues with this Cougar team, they actually, between the top 5 in the conference, have the least penalty minutes by a long shot, really. Eastern, again, leading that. But nonetheless, I think the Cougars, that's a big kill at the end of the period. They might take, that injury to Max Lazaro. I'm not seeing him on the ice right now. They might take that and kind of put it in their back pocket, uses it a little motivation. But like you mentioned earlier, the rushes, they have to be better. Their entries in the zone, they have to be better. They're sitting too much at the top of the zone. They don't have any man crashing the net. And traffic and crashing the net is huge at this level. And you have to take away the eyes of Sam Brash, who has been phenomenal so far.
Yeah, definitely. They really want this period. A teammate gets injured, it always puts a little fire under them. They're coming into this period with a 22-second penalty kill. And so they have to still come out strong in this period. They got to set the tone. Last period, they came out, they kind of slowed it down halfway through. But right now, it looks like somebody is taking over Max Lazaro's penalty right now. Not sure who it is, but we're going to have a face-off. Matthew Taylor taking it along with Kendall for Eastern. Eastern's going to push it through. Kendall is going to take it in, looking to make something wide, gets pressured on the boards, just kind of sends it behind the net. Another Eastern player is going to just send it to the middle. David Bushkin taking it up the ice alongside Matthew Taylor helping to support him, but David Bushkin's it stopped. He falls, picks it up again behind the net, just puts it on. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on Eastern for tripping.
Now, this must have been behind the play. I'm not really sure where this was at.
It's going to be number 17, looks like, and that is Tierney.
And I'm not sure why the 22 seconds that was on the clock for the power play is gone. And it looks like they will kind of just have an error with the clock. So Wyatt Perry, who was serving, like you said, will come off. He'll come out of the box. So officially, they are back to full strength. But now, just as they're back to full strength, Eastern will be down a man. And this is a huge opportunity for the Cougs. Start of the period, you get the kill. You get the full kill, the 5-on-3. That was for quite some time. Now you're able to get an opportunity to try and tie this game, get a big goal, and change the momentum back the other way.
Van Rainer's going to take this face-off and wins it back to the defense. Cole Carlson's going to send it down to 23 Jurgensen. Jurgensen behind the net to Van Rainer, back down to Jurgensen. Looking for a play, just kind of moving the pucks along the outside to 25. Sam Hembry back down. Just making some plays behind the net. Cole Carlson gets the puck, looking for a pass, sends it over to Van Rainer, who loses it on his backhand, and Eastern's just going to dump it down the ice.
When I attended a practice just about a week or two ago, the message from John Lupinacci when they were practicing the power play was, guys, pass, pass, shoot. And a lot of the time we see in the game, it's just pass, 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 pass. They're looking for something perfect, and they don't often get it, and they don't get enough shots on the power play. So as Coach Lupinacci said, you got it right here, pass, pass, shoot.
Van Rainer there made a pass to no one, just sending it behind the net, and Eastern was able to clear it, sending it down the ice again. Cole Carlson and number 9, Lucas Robinson, looking to pick it up, but Eastern picks it up and just, again, sends it behind the net. Robinson with the puck, looking to just get some control, sends it up to Sahovinen. Sahovinen looking to carry it, is being pressured by 2 Eastern players. WSU tries to get it after Sehoven loses it, but it loses it on the blue. And an Eastern player, number 3, is going to pick it up. Nickish sends it on net, but it is stopped by Cool, and looks like there will be a penalty on WSU.
And I'm not sure if it was pre-broken, but Ballard just slammed his blade and broke his stick on the ice. And maybe out of frustration, maybe again the stick was already pretty much broken. I think Robinson right there, he got beat clean defensively. And honestly, from the looks of it from up here, it looked like he didn't really get a hook off. But I think the way that Nickish fell, I think that kind of sold it for the official just enough. And again, you get a power play, you don't do anything with it, and now Eastern's going to get 90 seconds here after this 30-second 4-on-4.
Matthew Taylor against Smith took it. Smith passed it up to the defense and took a shot on net where it is again stopped by Alexi Cool.
Just a lack of urgency from this Cougar team, and the first 12 minutes to think that things would end up looking like this here early in the second. I would have called you crazy a little bit. They looked, well, like a well-oiled machine, and the urgency was there. Now it's not. And we know that it can't be a lack of oxygen because their practices have been full of conditioning.
25, Sam Hembry skating it down the ice, looking for that slot. Gets a shot on net, trying to get the rebound. David Bushkin there, but again, is just covered.
Honestly, might have been their best look in quite some time. And just a quick shot there from Hembry.
Cole Carlson is going to take this face off. And he wins it back to Lex Ballard, who's trying to take a shot. Was kicked off the goalie into the corner. Eastern Washington player was able to send it up where Lex is able to keep it in. Looks to make a play, but Eastern picks it up. Looking to make a play, deking around our players, just skating it down the ice with absolutely no pressure. Number 19, Lusk, the leader of points for Eastern. And it is hit away and into Eastern zone, where 23 is going to be pressuring the puck. Jurgensen, where he tries to get a shot, but it is hit away. Eastern keeping the pressure there in front of the net. 16, Micah Clark tries to keep it in, does a good job. There's a shot on net by Cole Carlson, but again, it's just hit away. There's scrambles in front of the net, and Eastern sends it out, and there'll be an icing.
Oh my gosh, that was like a spark out of nowhere from the Wazoo penalty kill. Cole Carlson with too many breakaways. He can't stash either of them home. One, a great save on the short side try, and one rings off the iron. Unbelievable, but I love the look we're getting from the Cougars here. Their spark was back there for about a good 45 seconds.
Matthew Taylor and Smith. Smith wins it, sends it to an Eastern Washington player where they're able to take it in and get a shot on Alexi Cool that goes straight into his stomach.
And that penalty kill play all started with Luke Jurgensen. He has been out there. He has been doing it right. He has been, everything's been starting with him, especially on the forecheck, on the back check. He's been great on the penalty kill. He's a great addition to this team as a whole.
Matthew Taylor taking this face-off against Elijah Nickish, one of the Nickish brothers. Micah Clark, Matthew Taylor is able to win it back to his defense, where they just send it up on the boards, and Tenney is going to get it, trying to make a play into the Wazoo zone, and they're going to finally get it, taking it on the boards, getting pressure from Matthew Taylor. Again, just passing it along the outside like Wazoo has been doing. Tenney has the puck. Looking to make a pass, makes it down. There's a slot, and 24 is going to score. Sterling Myers with that beautiful top left goal.
A power play goal for Eastern. Penalty was about to expire. 7 ticks left on that. Cougars just can't escape it. You tie up the guy in the slot, great. When the puck scoots right on past that and goes far side to Myers, who is waiting, and he goes top left, blocker side on Cool. Not a lot you can do there. That's a great snipe. And the Cougars now down 2 goals. And this is where we cannot see the Cougars quit.
Great connection, and just unfortunate there for the Cougs. They're going to try to get into the zone, but Eastern just continues to have control over this puck and make these tape-to-tape passes. But Wazoo is going to keep trying, keep pressuring them. Eastern just dumps it into the zone. Alexi just hits it off, and the defense is going to clear it, where Wazoo, number 14, it looks like, is pressuring Cadence Kelly. And Eastern is just going to send it around on the boards, where number 8, Ethan Maurer, is trying to keep it in. Gets sent out and back in. Cougs had to touch up really quick. They're sending it back into the zone. Eastern just with a breakout. Again, another touch up, but Eastern's going to send it out to number 7, Stetchner, and it's going to get dumped into the zone, where number 9, Lucas Robinson's going to pick it up and send it along the boards and out of the Cougars' defensive zone. 22 pressuring. That's Nico Umale. But Eastern is going to get pressure and just send it into the zone.
I like the way the Cougars are still playing. They're still responding well. There's a little bit of urgency, especially in the neutral zone. They're winning the neutral zone right now. Obviously a lot of turnovers, so it seems like nobody's winning. But the effort is there from the gray and crimson. But again, nothing matters unless you get the puck in the net 2 more times, at least make this game even.
You know, this game has so many turnovers like normal ACHA hockey, and it's continuing again. Luke Jurgensen takes a shot and again is in the goalie's stomach, but a great opportunity there for Wazoo.
And what do you always say, Kate, about shooting right at the goalie's stomach? Where does that get you?
Cannot score goals by shooting into the goalie's stomach. My coach, always growing up, my mom, always growing up, they always told me that. And so you got to keep picking those corners, got to be making plays, keep picking up that trash in front of the net. So Hovenen's going to win it back to Lex Ballard. Cole Carlson trying to handle the puck, gets hit away, but Jurgensen is going to send it down again for Sahovinen. And Cole Carlson there, they're just battling on the boards. Eastern player picks it up, looks like number 5. He's just going to try and send it out to number 19, but it's not quite going to connect, and there's just chaos right now in front of the net. Eastern player number 12 picks it up, looking to skate it wide, possibly get an opportunity, but he kind of loses control of it. And number 16, Micah Clark, hits him off the puck for the puck to go around. Cole Carlson picks it up to Luke Jurgensen. Jurgensen just dumps it into the zone, looking to chase it right there. Trying to make plays behind the net, excuse me. Eastern picks it up. They're just trying to get the puck out of their own zone. So Hovenen picks it up in the slot, looks to make a shot, but is hit off an Eastern player's skate. Again, and again off their skates. But Eastern's going to pick it up and head into the Cougar zone, where then it is hit out and hit back in, where Eastern's going to have an offsides.
Now they're pointing here at the Eastern bench. Thought maybe, kind of in the middle of a line change, thought maybe they might get a too many man, but it would just be a face-off. A rare face-off at center. It's not a goal or at the beginning of the period. And the Cougars, again, their forecheck has been well since their goal there against to make it 3-1. It's certainly been the best response I've seen from them after going down 2.
Eastern's going to try and get possession in the zone, just kind of hitting it around to random corners. But finally, Wazoo's going to pick up the puck behind the net, look to make a pass. David Bushkin tries to pick it up, but is stopped by defense, where then David Bushkin is able to get it again, looking to make a pass to Matthew Taylor. They try to get a shot on net, but can't quite get possession of the puck. 33, Wyatt Perry looks to make a shot on net, and it is just bouncing everywhere currently. David Bushkin picks it up on the boards, struggling to get possession a little bit, but he finally is able to get it, and they just kind of, whiff it a little on net. Wyatt Perry picks up the puck in the corner, passes it to defense number 25, Sam Hembry. Sam Hembry almost loses it, back to Bushkin, back to Wyatt Perry. Wyatt Perry takes a shot, and it goes into the corner wide, where Eastern is going to try and just break it out. 34, Keegan Lucas is able to just send it back in. Turnover after turnover, normal ACHA hockey right here. 34, Keegan Lucas keeps it in, tries to make a shot on net. Backdoor right there, Matthew Taylor, David Bushkin. Bushkin in the corner, looks to make a shot, goes wide, and there's no defense right there to stop it on the boards. Finally, number 9, Lucas Robinson, just hits it out and is picked up by Eastern player, who just dumps it in the zone.
This has been one incredible forecheck. My goodness, they are all over the Eagles in the offensive zone and just cannot get the puck in the net. They cannot get it by Brash. And of course, during that play, I'm not sure if anyone of you at home saw, but looked like an extra set of lights turned on in the middle of the play. Not sure if that has any effect on the players. Maybe from your experience, I'm not sure if any lighting change might affect, especially mid-play, like they turned on.
Yeah, definitely might be a little distracting for some of the players to have that light turn on, but probably thankful for a little more visibility out there, especially when sometimes it's really hard to see that puck. Van Rainer's going to be taking this face-off against number 9, Sean Smith. Smith is able to win it back to his defense where they get a shot on net, but it just goes wide, where WSU is going to pick it up on the boards, have board battles. 9 sends it back in. WSU is trying to stop them on the boards, but there is just so much conflict here. 22, Nico Umale is just trying to get it out, but these board battles are crazy right now. 26, 4, Eastern is able to pick it up, not quite get possession, so WSU is going to capitalize, but can't quite make a pass, and Eastern's going to tip it off and into the WSU zone. Van Rainer's going to pick it up below there, send it back to Umale. Umale's going to send it cross ice to number 14, Cadence Kelly. Again, can't quite get control of this puck. He's just going to send it into the zone and have Umale chase it there in the corner. Van Rainer there supporting him. Puck just gets tossed up in the air, and Eastern's going to get it and try to skate it around. Number 23, Karchner. But again, these board battles just keep sending it around and around on these boards. Umale picks it up, but again is in a scramble. 25, Sam Hembry was able to take a shot on net, but again goes wide, not quite hitting it. Cole Carlson making moves, trying to get a shot, gets a glove save by Brosh.
Beautiful move by Carlson, and he got a good shot away. I mean, not right into the goalie's chest. That was more far side. Had to be gloved by Brash. But again, the Cougars, as much as we've normally seen them kind of give up after going down 2 and going down really at all, they have been heavy on this forecheck. And really, Eastern looks a step behind in their own zone for sure.
So Hovinen pushes the puck into the corner where Eastern's going to pick it up, make a break out there on the boards, just sending it into the zone. 24, Keegan Lucas is right there, being pressured. So Hovinen just kind of sending it out of the zone, just tipping it. But Jurgensen is trying to be right there. So Hovinen picks it up once again after it's sent back in. Looking for that pass, he's getting pressure, looking to send it up to Cole Carlson, then to Jurgensen, who's going to take the puck wide and just drop past it there to Keegan Lucas, who was covered. Just back into the zone. Cole Carlson's going to pick it up on the boards with a lot of coverage there. Jurgensen has the puck, tries to backhand it over to Cole Carlson, but both of them are tied up. Cole Carlson picks it up behind the net, looking to make something, just kind of skating around currently, loses it in the slot. Eastern is going to skate it up. Number 11, Waite, trying to take it wide, but loses possession of it as 34, Keegan Lucas, is pressuring hard. Send it up to their defense, number 14. 14 again loses possession, tries to send it to a player there on the boards, but can't quite connect on it. And Eastern's going to lose it into the neutral zone, where WSU is continuing to pressure them and gets it back into the zone. 13 taking a shot at it, going over the net. So Hovinen trying to pick it up on the boards there, but number 5, Jilink, picks it up, but again loses it and into the neutral zone. Just everyone is just trying to get control right now. Number 19 goes in, takes a shot, and is right into Alexi Kuhl's stomach.
And you never really want to see the puck on the stick of Joel Lusk. He is the most dangerous man on the ice, without a doubt. And you talk about Cole Carlson, of course, hitting 100 career points this year. And the fact that Joel Lusk has netted 42 points, and a lot of them have been assists, a very playmaker style for him. He's been incredible.
Number 9, Lucas Robinson, is looking to send it along the boards, but Eastern is able to stop it, get it on net, and just try to get those slot shots. But 20, Evan King is going to pick it up and starts getting it, but he loses his footing and loses the puck. Eastern is going to pick it up, but number 8, Ethan Maurer, said no way and sends it back into the Eastern zone. Looks as though there might be a penalty going on.
And I think they're going to call an icing. I think they're going to say that he got that shot off down into the boards before the red line, but nonetheless falling through the neutral zone with no obstruction. It just cannot happen.
20, Evan King loses the puck draw, and it is going to be sent to 28 for Eastern, but again, loses it to number 9, Robinson. Finally, they were able to regroup back in the neutral zone. Eastern sends it back down, but Robinson is just going to clear it into the Eastern zone and get an icing call.
And where have we seen this before? The icing to try and escape pressure, but nonetheless, you can't make any changes to your lines. So your tired lines will stay out there. You have to hope for a faceoff win, a breakout, and of course, second period being kind of the long change game with the benches. It's all about who wins that battle at the end of the day.
Right now, it looks as though Wazoo is panicking a little bit. They tend to do that when there's icing. Eastern shot after shot is blocked by Alexi Cool. Amazing saves there. Number 8, Desaragis, just trying to get it on net. Alexi Cool making some amazing saves. Finally, WSU just clears it. There's going to be an icing call. That was insane.
Wow, wow, and just more wows. Alexi Cool coming up large, to say the least. An extraordinary save from him on the backhand, and then one goes right through the blue paint. Unbelievable. What a sequence. Shots are all tied up, and now a little bit of flip of the script here. Eastern looks like they're a step, maybe 2 ahead of the Cougs in their own zone.
Evan King losing this face-off. Eastern's going to get it, just kind of try and skate around him, but it's hit off, and they're going to look to make a regroup in the neutral zone. No, he's just going to take it. Number 19, Lusk, the point leader, can't quite get it, but still somehow manages to get a shot off. He just keeps trying to send it on net. Number 13 there, Kendall, trying to support him, get that trash in front of there, but is not quite there, and 5 is going to handle it behind the net. Jenkling. Eastern just trying to get full possession, kind of trying to handle it along the boards, but WSU just keeps hitting them away from him. Eastern's just going to send it low. Lusk picking it up, just kind of trying to wrap it around. WSU is going to pick it up. Number 14, Cadence Kelly, looking to make a play. He's going to pick it up once again and just dump it into the zone. No icing being called. 14 for Eastern's going to pick it up, where Cadence Kelly is going to stop it on the boards again. Nico Umale and Cadence Kelly in a board battle there. 2-on-2. Umale is going to win it, but it is going to be hit away immediately by Lusk. Eastern's able to hit it out and pick it up in the neutral zone. It is a 1-on-1 with the Cougars back checking, and the Cougars are going to win it and hit it away. Again, there's going to be neutral zone where Eastern is going to try and regroup and get possession of the puck again. Lusk has no awareness of the people behind him and is hit. Nico just tries to backhand it, but is immediately sent back to Lusk and into the Cougars zone, but Lex Ballard is able to hit it out over to Cadence Kelly, who's now going to get a change after he dumps it into the zone. 21 for Eastern, just trying to make a play, but Cole Carlson stops it, and he's going to take a shot, but it is hit away, where then he picks up the rebound yet again and is skating with it alongside the edge, looks to make a pass to number 16, Michael Clark, but can't quite connect on it, and is just hit into the zone once again for Eastern, and WSU to scramble for it. Lex Ballard there can't quite get it on the blue line, and Eastern's going to get what looks like a 2-on-2. They shoot the puck, but it can't quite hit the net and goes wide. Jurgensen dropping it to what seems like no one. 17, Van Rainer's going to pick it up, and then Cole Carlson is going to be pressuring Lusk here hard. Lusk making a play to number 9, Smith. Smith taking a shot, and Alexi Cool gloves it.
And it seemed like that Evan King, that sequence where Evan King's line, they had to be out there for minutes. I mean, 3 minutes at least, I feel like. They're finally able to get off, of course, unscathed on the score sheet. But Eastern has really taken over the second half of this period, as they did last period. And they're outscoring the Cougars again in this frame. And Brash is standing on his head, Alexi Cool standing on his head. And this all comes down to smart plays and connecting on passes, and maybe a chance here.
Cole Carlson's going to pick it up 1-on-1. He's making moves, looking to shoot, but he goes wide. Sahovinen there, along with Luke Jurgensen, trying to pick it up on the boards. There's going to be a battle there, but Cole Carlson gets it and is able to hit it back in, where then loses it again to Eastern, and they're going to send it into Wazoo's zone, where they're going to try and play it down low, looking to make passes, tries to make a pass there in the slot, but WSU hits it away, and it is in the neutral zone again for a regroup. Number 18, Nikoliv, has it, and there's just time after time with regroup. Looks like there is a high sticking there for Luke Jurgensen.
That was a high stick, to say the least. He was pointing that thing up to the rafters and got a piece of it. And so we will have a draw, it looks like, maybe down here to the right of Cool, who fixes his mask and discusses with the official a little bit. If I were the official, I'm probably saying, wow, you've made some marvelous saves here tonight so far. One of the best goalies in the Pac-8, if not the best.
Matthew Taylor taking this face-off against 23 Karchner. Matthew Taylor's going to win it back to number 9, Lucas Robinson. He's going to look to David Bushkin, again to Matthew Taylor. 23, Wyatt Perry's going to pick it up, where then he loses it in a battle to 23 Karchner. David Bushkin and Karchner battling out there, but finally get it to Matthew Taylor in the center. Matthew Taylor's going to take a shot, and it's going to go wide, where Eastern is going to pick it up from off the boards. Number 7, Stetchner, seems to be a little hit in here, but Stetchner is going to try and make plays behind the net. They're just sending it to the middle. Hit off to David Bushkin's skate, where then Matthew Taylor picks it up. Is going to send it back to Bushkin. Can't quite get possession of the puck, and it's hit away by an Eastern player. He just sends it down low where Matthew Taylor can try and pick it up. David Bushkin again picks it up, and there's just scrambles in front of the net after they try to just clean up that trash and shove the puck in.
A little bit of a pileup there, maybe a 4-body pileup there in the crease. 5 if you include the sprawled out Brash, who covered that puck, and it just looks like sometimes there's urgency and sometimes there isn't. That entry was a little bit slow, and of course that pass to Bushkin just couldn't quite corral it. But the passes to the slot from below the goal line, Eastern is hitting them most of the time. They're getting chances off it. Washington State, however, not so much. They're hitting feet, they're hitting skates, they're hitting twigs. They're not getting any kind of actual look on them. It's just essentially a giveaway.
3-1 here with Eastern leading. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. 12, Clark is going to take a shot, but it is just gloved easily by Lexi Cool.
If Cool sees the puck, he's likely going to grab it. An example of that there, 3:26 left. Shots are fairly close, 27-26. But of course, 3 goals greater than 1. The Cougars just, they got to step on it here. You got 23-26 left in your regulation time. You got to get going.
They're having these opportunities, but again, it is just turnover after turnover. Average ACHA hockey, but no team can quite capitalize on it right now. Eastern tries to take the puck in, but Lex Ballard just hits it away and into the neutral zone, where Eastern's going to look for a regroup, but it's going to be sticked down by Cadence Kelly, but Eastern still manages to pick it up and just send it low into Wazoo's zone, where again, Lex Ballard is there trying to pick it up, sends it to Cadence Kelly, who can't quite get it, and is sent back down for Lex Ballard to battle it out and finally lose it, where Eastern is just going to pass it up to their defense, Clark right here, but it's going to be offsides, delayed currently. 16, Micah Clark is just going to send it out over to number 22, Nico Umale, but it looks as though there'll be an icing?
It seems to be that there will be an icing. Johnny Lupinacci, head coach of the Cougars, motioning to Umale to stay out there. And of course, you know, in hockey there is tons of stats, as every other sport there is as well, but at the end of the day, the one stat that matters is the goals on the board. Whether you get the W or, well, if it's a kind of a game that you chalk, and although they have shots on goal and you might get scoring chances, at the end of the day, the deserve to win a meter is not a true way to look at the game. You either won or you lost, and the Cougars are just really going to have to step up. They're going to have to find a way to beat Brash, get bodies in front of the net, take his eyes away from the pucks.
Van Rainer's going to pick up the puck in the middle here, looking to make something, but it's hit off his stick. Trying to make a play here. Eastern just keeps trying to send it out, and finally they're going to get number 5, it looks like, Jalink out there, but WSU is going to pick it up once again and stop them. Cole Carlson pressuring the puck hard as he usually do, but 13 Eastern is just going to make moves around players and try to get a puck on net, but it is hit away into the corner where they once again pick it up and make passes to try and get shot after shot on net. It looks like there'll be a call on number 16, Micah Clark, for slashing. No, it's going to be on Lex Ballard.
This is something you just can't do. You're down 3-1. There's less than 2 minutes to go in the period, and best case scenario, you kill it off for the rest of the period. But now you're starting the third frame when you want to start fresh.
I apologize. The penalty is going to be on Eastern, number 13, Carson Kendall.
We were very wrong. The officials haven't given us a signal. I believe, like you said, maybe it was a slash. We're not really sure where. We saw Kendall go down. We saw him go down on the ice, and presumably was holding his stomach, it seemed. So now we're getting a discussion here. Lots of confusion.
We don't fully know, but we know that he is very upset with this call, throwing his gloves. Looks like he's taken off his helmet pretty aggressively, slammed the door. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on WSU as well.
There looks to be a painful emotion on the face of Kendall, and now we see Wyatt Perry go to the box. So that's one of those minors where it can be served by any player. So it's like it was some kind of bench minor.
We know that Kendall right now is not happy, holding his head, just kind of looking a little distraught. But it is going to be 4-on-4 today here in Cherney, Washington for these 2 penalties. Looks like both are getting 2 minutes. But only, 2 minutes.
One thing I will say is last time around we had a 4-on-4. Washington State actually benefited from the 4-on-4. They had more chances. Of course, things can change. But if they can take advantage of more ice space, like maybe right here.
Cole Carlson looking to drive it wide in the zone, but it is a 2-on-1, getting little support from Jurgensen. He's finally able to win it and get it out where he's making moves through 4 different Eastern players and loses it to number 9, Smith. Smith just looking to make a play, sends it around on the boards where Sam Hembry tries to stop it, but it eventually doesn't quite get it. Keegan Lucas, is going to take it in, send it down to Luke Jurgensen. Luke Jurgensen just sending it into the corner there for Cole Carlson to pick up. Cole Carlson making moves, sends it over to Keegan Lucas. Keegan Lucas looking to make a backdoor pass to Sam Hembry. Sam Hembry picking it up in the corner, battling there with 2 Eastern players. Lusk picks it up and is skating down the ice with the puck. Again, no pressure other than the defense backing up. Tries to make a shot, but it is hit off and goes wide. There's a big hit there on the boards, but Sahovinen is able to pick it up, is skating it down the ice, taking it wide, tries to make a hit there, number 8 for Eastern. Sahovinen gets in, just kind of sends it to the slot where nobody's really there. Keegan Lucas again is going to pick it up in the neutral zone, stops and starts, just sending it over to David Bushkin, who's going to send it into the Eastern zone where an Eastern number 8 is going to get it caught in his helmet, and he's just going to drop it there. But again, back in the neutral zone, WSU looking to make a play, but that is going to be the end of the period.
The Cougars find themselves down 2 goals, 4-on-4, 23 more seconds as we start the third period. And I still think from what we've seen with both the 4-on-4s that we have viewed this game, I think Wazoo has benefited for the most part. They have been in the offensive zone more. They have looked at more chances. Cole Carlson right now looks like he's trying to do it all. He's trying to get through 4 Eastern players, pull a little bit of kind of McDavid against the Rangers. And it hasn't worked, but he's also not getting a lot of forecheck help. There's Hembry down here. He was trying to field a puck that popped up, tied up with his man, and there was no forecheck help just recently there. Eastern was able to just easily break it out. Washington State's just going to have to get more gritty. They're going to have to get more chances in front. They're going to have to start connecting passes to the slot like Eastern has been. That's where they have been creating their grade A chances. And Washington State's going to have to take a page out of their book.
I think there was a lot less control in this period versus the first period. And again, like we said, you know, they can't really have control and hustle, and they definitely had a little more hustle and a lot less control. But still, again, like you said, they're just going to need to pick it up. You know, the shots are really close. It is 27-26, Eastern leading. But again, like you said, those goals are the most important stat right now. And right now, WSU is not winning that battle.
And I know it is not an issue of lack of hunger. I know Washington State wants nothing more than to come in here in Cheney, Washington, and beat the Eastern Eagles on their own home ice. So it's not a lack of who wants it more. It's just a lack of doing things right, like you mentioned off air, doing the basics of hockey correctly. And right now, yes, the shots say it's close, but Eastern, nonetheless, when it comes to forecheck, when it comes to back checking, they're doing it more consistently. And you know what they say, forecheck, back check, paycheck. You know, of course, minus the paycheck at this level, they're not getting a check, but if they can't do forechecking and back checking, you're just going to be unsuccessful oftentimes.
Definitely. We'll definitely see how WSU responds coming into the next period. They want it. They're hungry for it. We have another intermission game. Connor Simmons, our amazing cameraman, is going to switch it over. I'm Kate Cherney alongside Zach McFarlane, and we'll see you in the next period.
We are back here at the URC in Cheney, Washington. 3-1, the Eagles lead. And our buddy Smith Sly got words with Johnny Lupinacci. We'll send it down his way.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Kate. We're down on the ice with head coach John Lupinacci. 40 minutes in the books. You're down 3-1. What's maybe going to be the message in the locker room?
We just got to dig in, win battles, and put pucks in net. I mean, we're right there on the doorstep, and we're not finishing, and then it's letting them get momentum, and, we're getting in our heads, and just got to score. Lots of opportunities, just not putting it through.
So you're going to have 23 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. You had some good looks there with 4-on-4. Do you think maybe that 4-on-4, more ice to play with, does that maybe help you guys out in the beginning stage of the third period?
Sure, I'll play 4-on-4. Even strength is always good, and more ice is always great. And so, yeah, we'll take it. I think it's a good jump in the third, and it's just going to be a lot of aggressive looking at opportunities to put pucks on net.
And you've mentioned a lot in this season that this team plays really good Friday, but not so much on Saturday. So you're down 3-1, though, on Friday. What maybe are some lessons that you're taking from this game early on to be moving into next game?
I mean, we're just slowing down. We need to just get pucks on our sticks, take time. They're giving us time. We just need to take the time, get those pucks in deep. And we're not even thinking about Saturday right now. Big third period.
Got you. Thank you, Coach. Zach, Kate, back to you.
And those were the wise words from head coach Johnny Lupinacci, the head coach of the Washington State Cougars, finding his team down 3-1. And like he said, they've had chances, and they haven't been able to finish on them. Cole Carlson had too many breakaways in the span of maybe 45 seconds. One huge sprawling save from Sam Brash. The other rings off the right iron. That right there alone, those two chances could make this game 3-3. Of course, they're on the same play, but nonetheless, they've had a lot more scoring chances than they normally do, and you normally see them finish those things, especially in this league. But Sam Brash, who really doesn't have a great historic record of saving the puck, he's got an .860 save percentage, usually gives up around 5.4 goals a game, and here he is standing on his head. He stopped 25 of 26. Meanwhile, Lexi Kuhl on the other end, he has been incredible too. He's made some enormous saves. What can the Cougars do really? Like, what is number one priority here going into the third to try and climb back out of this hole?
I think just getting a little more control. They haven't had very good control lately in that last period, where Eastern has just been taking over the puck. They've done a really good job of just kind of like poke checking, hitting the puck away, but they can't quite get possession again. So getting that possession and holding on to it to make these plays and get shots on net is going to be huge for them.
And I think a huge part is just taking away the vision of Sam Brash. I say it a lot, but it all starts with that. If a goaltender is stopping the puck pretty well, you can't stop what you can't see. And if you just take away some vision, maybe change the direction of the puck a little bit with some deflections. We haven't really seen any kind of deflection work all season from the Cougs. If anything, it's been rebound goals from screens, but deflections are a huge part of the game. And if you can really make that happen, I think, and that's huge, especially against a goaltender who really is hot right now.
Yeah, and we saw that gorgeous goal, I believe it was last period, where it was just a beautiful connection, tipped it right into the goal. Cougs need to kind of have a little something going on where they're just, they're getting bodies in front of the net. I said before, there's zone entry. You need someone crashing that net when somebody else is skating into the zone, and that third person can kind of stay high. And right there now, they're all kind of staying high and not really staying consistent with that. And I think that just is giving up so many rebound opportunities, so many goal opportunities that the Cougars could really be capitalizing on right now.
And like you said, and like Connor McDavid says, dig in. The Cougars are going to have to do that. 1 period to go of regulation time. 20 minutes are back on the clock. We get ready to get set at the center ice faceoff circle. Again, like Smith said in his interview, 23 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey until we're back to full strength. Special teams has been quite active in that second period, and not too much in the first, a few penalties, but last period, lots of them. And we will start this with Joel Lusk on a one-on-one opportunity off a face-off win, and that one is skied straight into the mesh as a twig got in the way. I believe that was Hembry on defense. Sam Hembry, who has had a good year himself, 6 assists so far. And he finished with 7 points last season. So already closing in on what he did last season, and still a month to go after this. Lucas Robinson, though, the leader of the guys on the back end, 9 points. He had 10 last year, so same boat for him. Maybe an opportunity. Carlson settles this one down, sends it over to Jurgensen. Jurgensen tried to throw it back toward the front of the net, but it goes awry and goes in behind. And Carlson trying to get a forecheck to work, but doesn't. And now Lusk, in kind of a square of Cougar players, carries it around the cage, tries a wrap around, and it comes out front to Tierney, who is sent down to the ice. A good hit there. We're back to full strength, and Carlson moving, and he gallops on by. Nice toe drag by Lusk. Carlson feeds a backhander through, and Jurgensen went down. Looked like his arms were a little bit in the air. Maybe wanted a call, doesn't get it. And the rolling puck comes all the way down to Cool, who settles it for Hembry. Sam Hembry. Backends one through center. That one off the stick of Sahovanen, but still can't really connect with each other. And Robinson will get the loose puck in his own zone. Sauce that one to center. Backhanding that one is Kelly. Sahovanen grabs off the loose puck. Sahovanen shuffles that one back for Kelly, and the loose puck comes Robinson. Settles it down and then throws one on net. Wide rebound. Oh my goodness, Brash again. Flashing the leather, a great save, and then this one pops right into his glove at 80 seconds gone by in period one, and Sam Brash again just showing up the Cougars offense.
I do like how WSU has come out so far in this period. They're skating hard. They're trying to get those sticks in those lanes, and we'll see if they continue to play this way.
And of course, the Eagles sitting at 18 points, 5-12-3, their record for the year. And they're 5 points behind the Cougars, and you get 3 per win. So a regulation win, that is. So if they get 2 regulation wins here, they can jump the Cougars in the standings at 4. And the Cougars really need to do something here. And they cannot go down 1-0 in this weekend series when, you know, historically you don't play well in game 2. Bunch dangles around one, just walks right in, and a rising shot caught the glass. Who may have gotten a sliver of that. And now Myers chases after, but Smith got to it first. And it pinballs around. It will come off the stick of Bauer. I beg your pardon, Maurer. Ethan Maurer now chasing back after it with Clark and King. King will shield the puck around the net. He'll go down to the ice. Second time really falling on his own tonight. This one out in front. And that was Nickish. My goodness, a good chance, but really just off the glass, and that one turned away by Cool. Russell now battling along for it at the blue line. Nickish got it through the circle. One man to beat. Backhands one toward the net, and that's turned out. Myers tried to get one through. Maurer without a stick in front. Here's one back to the point. A shot directed and stopped by Cool. Maurer was without a stick for quite some time there, and he will go and retrieve with 17-13 left in the third.
It looked as though there was definitely a penalty there on the board, although nothing called. Cougars really could have done something with that power play, but unfortunately did not have it. Again, they just need to keep playing hard. Puck's been in their zone for a little while. Got fresh legs, though, and hopefully will skate it out and make a play with it.
The puck rises off the glass and behind. That one looked to lay it on for Jurgensen and just beyond the reach. And so it will come all the way down for an icing, but fresh bodies out right now for the Cougs. So they're not necessarily tired, but of course you have a good offensive chance there and you just send it by the reach of Jurgensen just barely. Of course, 17:04 to go, 3-1. Washington State trails here at the URC in Cheney, Washington. Here's a shot off the face-off there, and it goes well wide from McGowan. Waite now pushed along and behind the cage by Micah Clark. They're still tied up along the board here, and the whistle's right in the mouth of the official, but he doesn't choose to blow the whistle. McGowan just fires this one in and around. Bouncing puck, rolling around the yellow of the board. Jurgensen tried to clear that, could not. Puck to the opposite corner, and it rolls and then banks off the high glass. Carlson tried to get around, could not. Jurgensen grabs the loose puck. Snapped it back to Sahovanen, and it will come all the way out to center. And Hembry and Lucas settle it down. And Lucas enters the zone through a couple of Eagles. Great stick handles as he's still by. Lucas sauces one back. Hembry Sends one toward the net with maybe a screen in front, goes wide. So Hovinen tried to just slither one through the slot, can't find anybody, and it will come out as it goes off a skate. Lucas finding himself being pressured in his own zone, and here's that Eastern forecheck really pressuring the defense here. This one thrown in front, looking for Jelinek on a pass from Kendall. That could have been a great play. Couldn't quite find each other, so Hovinen tumbling down to the ice. Jelinek winning the battle, now gets it out for Kendall. No battle with Lucas. Kendall getting positioning on Hembry. Hembry will eventually come out, but then now Jelinek picks his pocket and steals it. Sent one toward the net to nobody, so Hovinen with a great block, point blank on that. And here comes Bushkin, the freshman phenom, trying to step on by, and he is tied up and then thrown down to the ice afterward. And this one tips off Jelinek's stick. And a dump in here and a change for Eastern. Not quite a full line change, but most. Stretch pass ahead off the bank play to Bushkin. His shot blocked down there by an Eagle. And this one is relayed all the way down. Cool's gonna have to come out and play it himself. And a smart play, he sends that one into the Cougar bench. Look out over there, 5:09 gone by. And Cool, good thing he did that, because it looked like Bunch might have won the foot race there if it played out.
That was risky for Alexi Cool, as that Eastern player was right there, but thankfully did not get the puck, and Alexi Cool was able to just kind of send it out and get a whistle.
Yeah, that was Bunch, and they say this time of year, 'tis the season, and you can consider him the Halls, because Max Lazaro decked him earlier in the game. Here's one out in front. Evan King, a shot off the shoulder there of Brash. Again, still holding down the fort in the blue paint, and now a whistle and a stoppage of play here. And referees pointing at one another, and they are going to call a trip. The arm was never raised, it looked like, from the orange stripe, but it's going against Matthew Taylor.
You know, ACHA hockey is what many nowadays would just call rage bait. You know, they're just kind of trying to make you mad, and you don't even know why. So I feel like that's what we're seeing a little bit from the refs today. But again, no idea what that call was.
And like I said, there was really no arm race. They just kind of pointed at each other after the play. There was no such thing as an arm race. So, you know, my first initial thought was, oh, maybe a high stick, a hand pass, an offsides, you know, maybe just a faulty whistle, but they'll give Matthew Taylor a trip. And so the Eagles will go back to the power play. This one rolls all the way down near Brash. And 10 seconds already gone by. Lift it, kind of a pitchfork play out to the neutral zone. And Ballard is there to swing it back in.
No hustle here by Eastern Washington, as they're just kind of skating the puck around. No urgency whatsoever currently.
Rayner tried to clear that through the center line, could not. Did Zerkis tried to step on by, now trying to hit Ballard off the puck, could not. Jelinek kept it alive at the point. Lusk fires one, and that one turned out. Alexi Cool was there to make it happen and square it up. Now a four-man scrum. Smith joined the play. Back to the point, Dead Zerkis sends one on net. That one didn't go, now Lusk got it again. Spinning away from harm's way, filters one across. There's Jelinek, a short side shot save. Rebound, puck goes through the crease, it's scrambled. And the bouncing puck now back in front again. Cool trying to get positioning, and that one goes wide. And this one is clapped all the way back down. And on net, in fact, off the bank play. And the Cougars again narrowly escaping a huge scoring chance. But this one should be an icing, and it is.
Zach, I am stressed for both teams. For Wazoo, they're just scrambling to get that puck, and so is Eastern. It's very stressful to watch for both Eastern and Wazoo, because they really don't quite know what they're doing with it.
That they don't. You know, they say a regular season game, you know it has a lot of hype around it when it feels kind of a playoff atmosphere, and that's exactly what this feels like. These two teams, bitter rivals. They always want to get the better of each other. And a packed barn here in Cheney. And this one's going to be offside. Les carried it in. but it seemed as though Elijah Nickish went offsides, and that's really a second offsides we've seen from him. We saw one earlier in the game on the 2-on-1 shorthand. Unfortunately, he jumped the gun on that late offsides call from the official. 13:02 left here in the third, 29 left on the man advantage. Carlson wins it clean, and Lucas will turn and send that one out to the neutral zone. Blocked off by Bunch at the center line. Now he'll gallop his way in. Swing around to the opposite corner goes that puck. And it's poked on further, and Tierney doesn't see Carlson racing on in. Carlson may have a break, moving right in, tripped in front, and the puck goes down. He was tripped on the break, and it's going to be a penalty shot for Cole Carlson, his second one of the season. And if there's any chance to get your team back in it, it's now.
Penalty shots are stressful. Playing growing up, it is all the pressure is on you. All the pressure is on Cole Carlson tonight. The team relies on him so much. Again, they're not going to be angry if he doesn't make this, but he wants this bad. They're down 3-1, and having this would be an incredible motivator here for the Cougs.
And if there's anyone on the team you want to take it, it's the man wearing the C, the top scorer of your team, 107 career points from 24 in gray. He's 0 for 1 so far this season. Missed against Gonzaga in night one in that series. And here he comes. A little stick handle across the line. Comes in slow. Carlson scores! And it's a one-goal game.
Great goal there by Cole Carlson. Team's looking a little high. As some of them would say, the boys are buzzing. And Lupinacci is looking happy right now. He's saying that Matthew Taylor is going to come out onto the ice after his period ends in merely 3 seconds. Looking forward to it.
And they have to be fired up. That is something huge. You get a shorthanded break, and that really all falls on the defenseman, McGuire Tierney. He didn't see Carlson coming at all, a nonchalant kind of just odd play. And Carlson, he gave up an easy breakaway, and then he takes a penalty, and it ends up being a penalty shot, sliding it through the 5-hole of Brash. It looked like he had everything covered but that spot. Puck kind of rides along the blue line. Bushkin battling with Jelinek. Embry spinning that one over to Lucas. We'll get the drop pass from him again. Angles one off the glass gently, and that one's sent over on a soft play by Bushkin. Gloving it down, Rayner to himself, tried to float one toward the net. Doesn't go, but a giveaway, and Rayner off the back of the skate on a shot attempt. Just unfortunate there. Now Jelinek with an opportunity. He has Lusk on in, and a great play by Robinson breaks it up. And that is a huge play. You don't want Lusk going to the back door unattended.
There still doesn't seem to be much urgency from any teams, even after that goal.
Such an important one, so you wouldn't think that that would be an issue. But it seems to be. Both teams, again, just kind of playing a little bit more relaxed. Kendall with a shot on goal and an easy glove save from Kuhl. And the shots 31-28 in favor of Eastern after that last one there. And this game looked like it maybe could get out of hand with Sam Brash standing on his head, but a goal on the penalty shot from Carlson makes this game a lot closer. In a one-goal game, and his 14th goal of the season. He is now dead even at goals and assists, 14 apiece and 28 points. Battle along the half wall, Elijah Nakish pushed into the boards pretty heavily there. This one sent in front, looking for Nickish right at the goal line. Again, a similar play, and broken up. Carlson all alone for the tie. Oh, and he sent one off the glass, right in front again. Jurgensen and a bouncing puck, and it comes to the half wall. Carlson looking to go 2 for 2 on the break and can't. Did Zerkis hit off the puck there? Sahovinen Filters one through. Ballard finding the stick of Jurgensen in over the line. Jurgensen, that one knifed off his stick in front. Bunch pressured by Ballard. Bunch just trying to fight this one out, and he'll force it across the line. But here come the Cougs again. Ballard toe drags around the line. Onside play. He had it pickpocketed from him. This one sent all the way down. It's not going to be enough for an icing. We are at about the midway point of period 3. Evan King around the cage. Trying to do a little jet sweep handoff play there. Ballard, not a good play. They give it away right in the slot. And having to kind of poke that away desperately. You never want to pass through the middle of your own zone. It's an area you want to stay away from if you have any say about it. The man goes down to the ice here for Eastern. This one floated toward the net and blocked down. Myers continues it, drops it back off. That went off the stick of Smith and Russell. Tried to throw it toward the goal, blocked by a gray sweater in front. Bouncing puck still loose. Russell's got it. High point shot, deflected and just wide of the net. Comes to the side and they will lift this one way out, and it won't be an icing. An awful bounce if you're Eastern there. Actually keeps that puck from going all the way down. Hank Hamlet colliding with Russell there, almost a giveaway. This one off the skate of a Cougar, so it won't be an icing. 9 minutes to go in period 3. Hembry corrals it calmly, and then giveaway here again. Just skate to skate to skate, passing from the Cougars. Out here playing soccer a little bit. Hembry finally kind of corralling it here, trying to just get it through the neutral zone. Good presence from the Eagles. This one sent all the way down. It will be just on net. Cool stymies that one away. Bushkin will go across ice, and it's Cadence Kelly. Couldn't quite corral that pass, but he does get it to Bushkin in the opposite corner. Threw one out in front, nobody there. Hembry keeping it alive, though, at the point with his backhand. Hembry threads that one. It comes to the back, and it's intercepted by the Eagles in kind of a 2-on-2 here, but no urgency. Patrick over to Waite. Waite walks in and easily gloved by Cool with 8:03 to go in period number 3.
Both teams are kind of just gliding into each other's zones. You know, there's not really much leg movement going on for both of them. It seems like neither of them kind of really want to win right now. The Cougars were going after it in the second period. They were making plays. They were hustling to that puck, and now it's just kind of like a Sunday skate.
It is a very gentle style of play from both sides, and we have seen difference from when the game first started. Lots of big hits, of course. Lazzaro's hit on Bunch, a crushing blow, but not only to Bunch, but to the team as Lazzaro went out with an injury. We have not seen him return again. Hopefully nothing major there. This one escapes by the possession of Jelinek. Carlson trying to one-hand by Nikolaev, but doesn't. This pass does not thread through the neutral zone. And here's one for Jelinek. He's racing on in. Big save, and the rebound could not be stashed home at the side of the net. Cool coming up large again. Robinson couldn't take it away from Elijah Nickish. It comes back in below the goal line and behind the cage. Jelinek. He has been quite a speedster out there for the Eagles tonight. He has been a great playmaker. This one thrown toward the net. Loose in front, batting away at it, and now a little bit of extracurricular. You don't want to take a penalty, something like that. That would be very dumb to take a penalty after the play and at this point in the game. Again, 6:58 left, a one-goal hockey game, and really, it could be anyone's game. This still could be anyone's game.
The game is so close right now. You know, the Cougars are just trying to get that goal to tie up the game, and Eastern's just trying to hold them to it. Great play there by Jelinek, had an amazing opportunity, but thankfully Robinson was able to stop it. Those are the kind of opportunities that the Cougars don't want.
Cannot give up bad mistakes here. This is not the time to do so. This could be a playoff decider. Ballard sent one in, it goes wide, then that one pushed off the side of the cage from Taylor. And this one directly out in front, Taylor, oh my goodness, he got that. Do you believe what we just saw? What a glove save Merry Christmas to Sam Brash, who finds that in his trapper. Wow, what a stop, keeping this a 1-goal lead for Eastern. And there's just been so many chances like that where they just cannot get it by. Again, Cole Carlson, a breakaway from the penalty shot earlier in the period. He gets one home, and David Bushkin sniped one about a minute and a half into the game. Interesting, to say the least, how Brash has really turned this game upside down. And an opportunity here, Smith, and a good back check, but a penalty coming up against the Cougars as they're going to take him down. And they will blow it dead finally here. Clark got possession at the blue line, but it's seemingly, I would imagine, a trip.
I believe slashing was called on 16 Micah Clark.
Interesting to say the least, considering if any call were to be made there, I probably would have guessed trip. But rightful call, I would say, and just a wrong time to take it. 6 minutes, 11 seconds left. The Eagles go back to the power play. Big save, and the rebound off the pipe, and it's swept out. Oh my goodness, and a loose puck. And it comes back to the point again. There's Lusk, goes down low, did Zerkis across and can't find Jelinek. They weren't on the same page. Taylor tried to sweep it out, and it will be Bushkin here. He is one of the best penalty killers on this team. He's able to at least skate it out, but now here come the Eagles in a 3-on-2 rush. Taylor's got to get back. This one just fired, and Howitt's on net. And gloved by Cool, and yet again, what a chance. And it doesn't go on number 30.
Alexi Cool, great save there. Makes all of these saves look so easy sometimes. But these, again, are the opportunities that Wazoo does not want Eastern to have. You know, 3-on-2, you need back check. You need that winger support, especially when you are on the penalty kill.
And here's an opportunity. Carlson hung up there, and they're going to let it play on. It looked like he was maybe hooked, but they're going to let it play on, and a giveaway here. Umale, I beg your pardon, that's Luke Jurgensen. Didn't quite see the 3 on the end of the 2 there. And Jurgensen trying to stick lift and back check. Lusk took the stick right out of his hand. No arm raise of the official. And now the Eagles will try and line up a rush here. And over the line, Smith. Tried to filter that one further for Leonov, and the puck comes through to Smith off a bouncing play. Cannot quite broom it out. Lusk grabs it. Embry wins the body positioning battle on him in a 3-man tie-up. Smith wins it in behind the cage, sauces one back, and it's off the stick of Bunch, and with 40 to go on the man advantage and just under 5 minutes to go, Eagles with a couple of good chances here on the man advantage. Going off the skate of Carlson. He's sent down to a knee, and this one is lifted all the way down. And again, going back to that Jurgensen play, he had the stick grabbed out of his own hands by the hand of Lusk. No penalty call there. Bunch in over the line. Gallops ahead and strides on to the right side. Looks at his options and lays it off. There's Tierney. Fires one on net. Rebound kicked out. Again, Cool, and then a good clear by the Cougars, trying to get that puck out of harm's way. This one shot all the way around the end board. Looked like Bushkin will poke it further. Could not quite get it out. Myers kept it alive. Sterling Myers stood up there. Bushkin just trying to bank it out off the board. The loose puck comes out. Power play time is up. And this one just beyond the stick of Taylor, but he will race on for it, and no icing. This one is Bushkin at the side of the net. They score! Bushkin, it leaks through. And the game is tied with 3:45 left in regulation.
That was insane. Bushkin just kind of flipped it in, total muffin there, and it just trickled in that net. Absolutely unlucky for Brash, but amazing for the Cougars right now.
Unbelievable. Of all goals to go in, of all shots Sam Brash has faced, it's a muffin that leaks through short side, and this is a new hockey game here. 3-3, under 4 minutes to go. The Cougars have played in one overtime game this year, and they were victorious. 4-3 was the score as Sahovanen on a giveaway here. Loose puck comes to Carlson and a shot blocked away, but Sahovanen got the loose puck again. Sahovanen with a shot fanning on it there as he was defended away pretty well by Kendall, and this one floated all the way down, and Cool will hang on to this with 3:11 to go. And you talked about being nervous for both sides. That has absolutely heightened to the peak right now, I'm sure.
Definitely. Going back to Eastern's power play, though, I do feel like they were a little too aggressive on it physically. You know, it almost seemed like they wanted a penalty, but man, the Cougars came out and showed up right now, and they are hungry for that fourth goal and to ultimately win the game.
As Ain't No Love in Oklahoma plays from Luke Combs, Ain't No Love in Cheney. These guys trying to get the better of each other. So Hovenen gets it at the half wall. Kind of floated one toward the net. It comes to the stick of Jurgensen, who fans on a one-time attempt. And Didzerkis just kind of filters this one all the way down. Bunch racing after it. Ballard will win it and spin away from him. Ballard threaded that one through to Carlson. Calmly works his way into the zone and throws one on net, getting a stop from Brash or the Eagles. And with 2:41 left in the third, we'll get an offensive zone face-off for the Crimson and Gray.
They are hungry for this, and having a face-off in the offensive zone is huge. They just need to know how to play it correctly.
And it looks like the Eagles come out victorious of the draw, but the Cougars will get it eventually. Hembry kept that clear attempt alive and couldn't do it that time, but Robinson, luckily for the Cougs, back to get that one. Tried to clear it. That one soccer kicked up into the mesh off of Sterling Myers and out of play as the Let's Go Eagles chants started and a little bit died down there during that play. A packed barn tonight. A roaring of the crowd for Eagles goals, and a little bit silent here in this third with two impactful goals to bring this one back to a knock. Robinson skies that one out of the zone. Bouncing puck again, taking a Cougar bounce, and a shot. Didn't see it in behind and almost leaked through across the goal line. My goodness. Here's a giveaway from Lusk, a rare giveaway. Down to Taylor, tried to backhand one through and couldn't. Losing the stick there is Kendall. He's got to go back and retrieve. Rayner out front, a backhander, and that one is blocked away. Bushkin turning with it, just sauced it through the neutral part. I beg your pardon, the slot. Hembry trying not to fumble this puck there on the line. And Taylor works it in. His shot goes wide. Bushkin looking to clean it up, and he puts it into the mesh off a stick in front. This is back and forth, to say the least.
There is a minute and 43 seconds left in this period. Do you think that Wazoo's going to be doing anything right now to try and score this goal, or just kind of trying to clean up those pucks in front?
You have to imagine with the momentum that they have here, they're trying to end it in regulation. But of course, Sam Brash has been strong. He's given up 2 goals this period, but we'll see. Here's Carlson to the slot, turning wrister, and that one never left the ice, but goes off of Brash. So Hovenen corralling into the corner. Beautiful pass out for Carlson. Scores! The captain does it again. The Cougars from 2 down to 1 ahead with 89 seconds left.
Man, Cougars are excited right now, but Lou Bernacci is there on the bench telling them to kind of calm down and focus. He's pointing to his head. I think he's telling them to stay in this game. There's still a minute and a half left, and it looks like Eastern is going to be calling a timeout. But man, WSU has got to be feeling good right now.
The Eagles bench and this crowd are stunned. A 3-goal third period. The Cougars have not only climbed back to get to even ground, they now have the advantage. They have the high ground. They have a 1-goal lead, and Cole Carlson, no better player to have the puck on the stick of in the slot, unguarded. Very McDavid-esque in the Four Nations. You can't leave him alone or he'll make you pay, and he does right there. And again, like you said, Eagles call a timeout, trying to just regather themselves. They don't know what's happened.
Brash is not happy. You know, he's talking to the other goalies there. Scoobiala, the backup goalie this game, and he is just hanging his head. He is not looking good. And for goalies, that is so hard. So much of this game is mental, and he's got to stay in it for this last minute and a half.
You can't forget, though, they will probably pull their goaltender and get a man advantage of 6-on-5. The Eagles have been very productive on the power play this season. And in the ACHA, anything can happen. This game is far from over. It is not over until zeros are on the clock. Dederkis tried to move his way by, and Cool will get the floating puck under his glove with 121 left to go here in regulation. The Cougars trying to hang on to their very new lead, and a lead that they haven't had since the first period. Uncharacteristic from the Cougs in a positive way to climb their way back late. Carlson maybe with another chance here. Gets by Dederkis and tried to get by Lusk and could not. A good defensive play by him. They'll go cross ice, and now we have to watch for Brash, and there he goes. Brash to the bench. Extra attacker coming on for the Eagles. Just over a minute to go. Carlson tried to poke it out and could not. Smith laid it toward the front, and it skied out off the stick of an Eagle. It was played with a high stick, so this will be a draw. And you may have to put Brash back in the net here, and that's exactly what they'll do with triple fives on the clock, including the 5/10 left on the 55.
This, again, is still so stressful for both teams. It is such a close game right now, and you know that both teams want this win.
Absolutely nothing more. Taylor providing a good forecheck for the Cougs. Loose puck out in front. There's Rayner for the seal, and he couldn't find the back of the net. Couldn't really even find a shot on goal. Breaking it out of the Eagles. Brash creeping up, and there he goes. A shot by Lusk, turned aside by the pillow of Cool. 35 seconds to go and ticking. They will get the puck out to the neutral zone. This one played, and it's offside. The linesman calls it. And this will be a face-off outside the Cougar zone, I would imagine. 27.7 seconds left. The discussion of the officials, of course, a very impactful, important moment. You got to make sure you get it right. And I believe now they're discussing the clock.
I think it just went maybe a few seconds over, possibly where it was. Oh, they lowered the time.
They shortened it by about 24 seconds, so we know that's not right. There's 3.1 stands on the clock. I'm sure that will get fixed.
Definitely. I think it maybe just went, maybe 3.1 seconds over, but they're just going to get that fixed. 31 seconds left in this period as the Cougs try to keep their lead.
The Eagles will get just under 4 full seconds back on the clock for them. And of course, their net empty. Bunch just fires that one in and around. It goes around the end boards, riding the end board the whole way. Cannot keep it alive was Lusk. Gets it back. The Eagles under major pressure. Bushkin toward the net. He sails it! Washington State takes a 5-3 lead with 13 seconds to go, and a dagger from the freshman phenom. Bushkin gets his second of the night, and the Cougars bench have erupted. I beg your pardon, that's a hat trick for David Bushkin as he puts the icing on the cake here in Cheney, Washington, and a 2-goal lead for the Cougars. And if you're Coach Johnny Lubinacci, it just has to feel good. Ten seconds to go. Eagles sky it back in, and of course we get a whistle. And it looks like we'll get a face-off here, maybe in the Eagle zone or just outside it. And just outside it, just over 7.5 seconds to go. Clock is stuck, but time eventually will run out, I would imagine. As Cool makes the save, the clock is stuck. We've definitely played more than 7 seconds here. And that will do it. It runs out officially. Washington State wins it. What a thriller, a 4-goal third period. They make the climb, and they're at the mountaintop. they have taken game one of this weekend series. And what a game it was, a character-building game for the men wearing WSU.
Lupinacci must feel great right now. Like we said, coming into this game, he, as a head coach, has not won a game against Eastern. This is the first one. I am so happy we got to call it. This was an intense and amazing game, but ultimately WSU was just the better team. They wanted it more. They were skating, they were getting pucks in front of the net, and that is what they needed this period. David Bushkin, freshman phenom, absolutely amazing job. Hats off to him. Literally got a hat trick. Amazing.
He absolutely did, and a big performance from him, as well as Cole Carlson, who had two himself. Maybe the biggest goals, arguably. Carlson puts them within one, gives them a little bit to work with in that third period, and then, of course, gets the lead with a 1:29 left in regulation. Just a dagger, a slice in the heart of the Eagles, and the Cougars come in and clip their wings in game one, 5-3, and like you mentioned, the first win against the Eastern Eagles under head coach Johnny Lupinacci. The past two seasons swept. Every time they have lost, it's finally got to feel good for them to come in here and get a win and have it be such an impactful one, scoring 4 goals in the third, being down 2 goals, making that climb.
Definitely. I'm sure they're feeling great coming into this locker room. They look really happy. Eastern got off the ice very quickly. If I was that goalie, I would be upset. You know, not completely his fault. There was a little bit of defense struggles as well as a bit of forward struggles, but, you know, it wasn't for lack of trying. They did really want that game. They pressured hard, they skated hard, but in the end, the better team won.
No doubt about it. They played better overall tonight in every feat. I would say they were the better team, and you don't have to put up the deserve to win a meter. They do get the win. It came down to the end, but they do climb back. They make it happen. 5-3, a late empty net goal to seal the hat trick and the game for David Bushkin. Now you have to wonder, tomorrow's game, you don't play well on Saturdays historically, but this is such a big win, maybe your biggest win of the year. Not only just because it's a rivalry game, but looking at the standings, you just essentially sealed that even if you do drop tomorrow's game, you're still ahead in that 4th spot, at least for now. And it's such a big win. So going into tomorrow, do you think that the impact of this win, do you think that that kind of cancels out how they've normally played historically on Saturdays?
You know, I definitely think that it's going to have a factor. I am a little glad that the game was so close because it's going to make for a very competitive game tomorrow. No one team is coming in over the other being like, oh, I'm going to win. This is going to be so easy. You know, WSU knows that they need to work for it, and Eastern obviously is going to be out for blood. So it's going to make for a very competitive, very interesting game tomorrow. And I'm really excited to see it because I think it is going to be great, just like this game was. I'm sure very stressful again, very physical, as I'm sure both teams have a little bit of physicality to them. You know, Eastern, again, like we said, leading in penalty minutes. Again, their top penalty, Arver, I believe, is not playing as he's still in a 6-game suspension. But WSU, Eastern Washington tomorrow, it's going to be a great game.
It was October 3rd. You and I were on the call for the Gonzaga game. That was a 4-3 nail-biter until, of course, Cole Carlson netted the empty net to complete the hat trick. We see the same thing here, a parallel. You have David Bushkin in a climb back, completing the hat trick on an empty net. And what I thought, maybe that was the closest game. This now, in my book, has been game of the year. And we have been on the call for both of those tight ones. And this was, no doubt, an exciting one to be a part of. And we were glad to be a part of it with you all. Thank you for watching KOGR. I'm Zach McFarlane, and I was joined by Kate Cherney here tonight. The Cougars win 5-3, and they will play right back here tomorrow night for Game 2. Good night, everybody.